And welcome to Munson. I am Anna Tobin D'Ambrosio, President and Chief Executive Officer, and the Munson Board of Trustees and staff are honored to host the 2023 State of the County Address. So let us begin today's program by welcoming the Oneida County Sheriff's Office Honor Guard. If you are able to remain standing, please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please be seated. This afternoon's invocation is led by Father Joseph Salerno, pastor of Mary, Mother of Our Savior Parish here in Utica.
Good afternoon, everyone. And if we would join with each other in a moment of prayer. O Lord our God, we draw upon your goodness this day as we gather at Munson. We ask that you bless and strengthen all the people of Oneida County. Continue to grant our elected and appointed officials the wisdom to lead this county forward, and to do so through a spirit of collaboration and cooperation with many others. To continue to grant us ongoing prosperity devoted to the good of all. Grant our leaders in government, especially our county executive, insight, so that in every area of our lives we might plant seeds of hope for the generations to come. From the homeless to the prosperous, may your hand of blessing be upon us. May we care greatly for our common home, our little patch of earth called Oneida County. May justice, compassion, and the courage to see others as our sisters and brothers be not only words we speak, but virtues we live. In your name we pray, for you are the God of all of us. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Founded in 1798, Oneida County has always been at the forefront of multiple industries in the state of New York. And County Executive Anthony Picente has carried that innovation forward as a transformational leader for our generation. County Executive Picente was appointed in 2006 and has been re-elected to 4 consecutive terms. Under his guidance, the county has generated opportunities in technology, advanced manufacturing, unmanned aerial systems, education, quantum computing, healthcare, research, and sports, in addition to welcoming refugees, assisting those in need, and supporting organizations that represent arts and cultural experiences. We've experienced ongoing development within Griffith's Business and Technology Park. The campus of SUNY Poly has evolved into a vibrant hub of high-tech innovation and job creation. Mohawk Valley Community College is thriving, offering an education accessible to everyone, as well as innovative collaborations that support local businesses. The cities of Utica and Rome have both received Downtown Revitalization Initiative grants that have spurred infrastructure projects and business development. The Nexus Center is just the most recently completed addition to a plan for transforming downtown Utica, and this fall will open the Wynn Hospital. And the arts. The arts are essential to a well-rounded quality of life and to attracting newcomers to Oneida County. And they thrive in Oneida County with live performances, films, festivals, and museum experiences right here, and not found anywhere else between New York City and Buffalo. Collaborative partnerships between county government, businesses, and nonprofits has helped lead the renaissance of our county for the last 17 years. And that revitalization is evident in population growth and development, and it is because Oneida County is a wonderful place to live and a fabulous place to raise a family. We are a county of growth, opportunity, diversity, and of the arts. So please join me in welcoming the Oneida County's 13th and longest-serving county executive, the Honorable Anthony J. Picente, Jr.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. And thank you for being here. And let me begin by acknowledging a milestone, as Anna said. For Oneida County, 2023 is our 225th anniversary. 225 years filled with trials and accomplishments, from the Battle of Oriskany and the Siege of Fort Stanwix to the creation of the Erie Canal and the Industrial Revolution to the Eastern Air Defense Sector's actions during 9/11. This county, Oneida County, has played a pivotal role in American history, and we should all be proud of where we have been, where we are, and where we are going for the next 225 years. But the success of Oneida County would not be possible without those who pushed this government to new heights, and I want to recognize first the unbelievable commitment and dedication of all of our county government employees. They carry out the mission with professionalism and skill every day. They are, as I continue to say, the best workforce in New York State. Let me start by, indulge me as I thank some of my partners in government that are here with us today. First, clearly in these, front two rows, the members of the Oneida County Board of Legislators for their continued partnership and their hard work. They're here. Please give them a round of applause. And hiding in the rafters, as he always does, the chairman of the Board of Legislators, who is not only a great chairman and has been recognized as such, but he is a great friend to me, and I am in the envy of many of my peers around the state, because usually county executives and sometimes board chairs have a little bit of a difference of opinion. I can't say that about Jerry Fiorini. He has helped me lead this county for the last 17 years. Jerry, thank you. And I am also blessed with great partners on the county end of elected leaders of the other four that I served with, and a couple that are changing this year, but I'll get to that. First, we have our new county clerk, Mary Finnegan. Mary, thank you for being here. Mary's doing a great job. A great partner and someone I work with every day. We're on the phone constantly. He is doing a great job, and a great friend, Sheriff Rob Macho. Sheriff, thank you. District Attorney Scott McNamara could not be with us today, but I want to thank Scott for his continued support and work. Scott is another one, or is one of the two, and I'll get to the other one in a moment, who's going to be leaving at the end of the year. And while there's a lot of time to talk about it, I do want to thank Scott for his leadership, his friendship, and certainly all he has done. So please give him a round of applause. And last but certainly not least, I told him I'd mention his name a couple times in the speech, so that's the controller of Oneida County, who is finishing up his sixth term as the Oneida County Controller, Joe Timpano. Please give him a round of applause. When we talk about county finances, when you talk about the situation we're in, the position that we put ourselves in over the last several years could not be possible without Joe, and I want to thank him for all of that leadership and his constant advice and direction on the financial issues of this county. Thank you, Joe. Also joined by partners and friends in state government that do a great job, our great Senator Joe Griffo. Joe, thank you. Joe's partner and ours on the other side of the aisle, Assemblywoman Mary Ann Buttonshaw. And a great friend for a lot of years from the governor's office, Dolores Caruso. Dolores? She's going to get mad, but I'm going to recognize my great friend and former Commissioner Roanne DeStito. Wave. Thank you. I want to thank all the other mayors, supervisors, and other electeds that join us here today. Your partnership is essential as we move this county forward, and I want to thank you for that. To my sisters who are both here today, I want to thank them for their constant support and guidance and love, and thank you. And of course, to the rock and to my heart, my wife Eleanor, who is, I could not do any of this without her. Thank you. You've heard from a great friend and a great leader in this community, Father Joe Salerno. He is truly a friend of mine for I don't know how many years, and a friend probably to everyone in this room right now and throughout this community. We call on Father Joe for so many different things when we're in crisis and when we need help, and he calls on us not to call on us. He asks us, what can he do for us? God bless you, Father Joe, and thank you for being here today. And over on my left over here is someone you know that you saw with me on TV throughout the pandemic, Vicki Stockton, who's doing our sign language. Thank you, Vicki, for being here today. Give her a round of applause. And I promise, lastly, as we move on, I want to thank our host today, Anna D'Ambrosio, for her great, kind words and warm welcome. The board of this institution, this community, Jen, that is hosting us here today, the newly minted Munson, as you can see right behind me. But under any name, this institution is recognized worldwide for its collections, its commitment to strengthening our community through art, as has been said, history and education, and has been, for this community, a cultural bedrock for decades. The connections between here and our other community assets, such as Nexus, Union Station, and the Stanley, are so crucial. And as Munson begins this next chapter, we will utilize our Main Street planning program to assist with new and proper wayfinding and placemaking throughout downtown Utica so people know to get here. Thank you, Anna. Thank you for your support. So again, I want to thank all of you for being here today, and I have given this address, a few times before, so the media will sometime ask me, so what's the shocking thing this year? And I must confess, I don't intend to be shocking for the sake of being shocking, but what I have always intended has been to lead this community by being bold, by having vision, by standing for what I believe in, and for what will move us forward. If that sometimes comes with a level of shock, well, I'm okay with that. But let's take a moment and look back at some of those shocking things. Consolidate 911, Can't happen. No one will ever go for it. Too much politics. We got it done. And every single member of this community is safer for it. It came with new technology, new capabilities, national standards, and better service. Eliminate 4 elected positions and create a medical examiner system? Impossible. Politically, it'll never happen. You're crazy. We got it done. And with it came the data and analysis pivotal in solving crimes, fighting the opiate epidemic, and keeping our neighborhoods safe. Fix a sewer problem, too big of an undertaking. Nobody sees sewers, they're underground. We got it done. We are no longer under a consent order, and we have rebuilt a sewer infrastructure system, without which development would have never occurred. No Wolf Speed, no hospital, no nexus, no housing, nothing. Locate the nation's premier drone testing site in Oneida County. Some scoffed and said, not here. Now we lead the nation with the best technology and most activity in the world's largest indoor test site in Skydome. Not Silicon Valley or Texas, but right here in Oneida County. Land a trip fab. It's a pipe dream. In my first address as county executive, I said we would do it. Well, Wolf Speed is in Marcy and Danfoss is next door on the grounds of SUNY Poly. And between the two of them, they employ more than 500 people in our community, and they will continue to grow. And the 500 is a real number. You don't have to count the cars. Settle historic land issues, collect revenue, and become real partners with the Oneida Indian Nation. Can't be done. Hasn't been done for over 30 years. We did just that. The result is over $123 million in revenue. And the nation has become such an amazing partner, and under the leadership of Nation Representative and Enterprise CEO Ray Halbritter, it continues to expand, growing jobs while attracting millions to our region. Return AHL hockey to the Aud, it's never coming back. Now what you see is the impetus for unprecedented tourism activity and economic growth. Together, the Adirondack Bank Center and the Utica University Nexus Center are the best AHL arena in the league and the #1 tournament-based play facility anywhere. It's here. Go and check it out. If you haven't, it's amazing. In retrospect, these things were not so shocking after all. They certainly weren't to me. I've never believed that it couldn't happen here. I have never governed that way. I have never led that way. I'm proud of my administration's record. And while I just highlighted a series of generational investments, our record of achievement is even longer. We have, along with Controller Joe Timpano, repeatedly improved our credit ratings, kept our debt low, built the Innovari Advancement Center at Griffiths, created a capital program to address flooding, created the Oriskany Creek Watershed Commission, led the way, as I mentioned, during the pandemic by keeping people safe, fighting for common sense solutions, and against state government overreach. We ran the most successful vaccine incentive program in the country, putting $3.4 million into the hands of our residents and in turn into the registers of our local small businesses. With Sheriff Macchio, we created the first in the state Ascend program, ensuring that all residents who have special needs can get the support and resources they need in a time of emergency. With the DA and the sheriff, we advanced the Opioid Task Force, which is now state and nationally recognized for its work. We invested in our main streets with $5 billion in funding. We expanded College Corps and the Summer Youth Employment Program to be year-round. We improved the Stop DWI Baseball Classic to include softball and educate more youth. We committed $2 million in funding for veteran suicide prevention. We increased tax exemption eligibility for seniors and individuals with disabilities. We developed the Share the Road initiative, keeping roadways safe for our farmers. We created the Ag-Friendly Oneida County Initiative. We continued our financial commitment to our libraries, restored funding to Humane Society, centralized all animal abuse investigations with the CNY SPCA. We created, again with the sheriff, an animal abuse registry. We launched the Emerging Worker Recovery Program, became an AARP age-friendly community, and again, with my partner, the sheriff, created an internship program linking veterans to employment. This list only includes some of the initiatives over the last few years. But we did all of this without raising the property tax levy. However, we must also take into account the vital things we do every day, such as feeding the hungry, providing housing, protecting children, keeping people safe, improving public health, maintaining and plowing roads, and much, much more. This government is a team, from the department heads on down to the caseworker, laborer, clerk, examiner, and everyone else in between. I could not be prouder of our team, and this community should be proud of them as well. I can't thank them enough for the work they do every day. But as a government, we always believe we can improve. We must continue to strengthen our workforce, hire new employees for our hard-to-fill positions, and find innovative ways to deliver services while always being accountable to the people. Let me share with you a few of our new initiatives. We will soon kick off our Nurse Navigator program, which will allow our 911 center to transfer calls directly to a nurse when the call is determined to be a non-emergency. This will alleviate stress on ambulance services, fire departments, and emergency rooms. Through our Youth Bureau, we are launching a unique initiative to engage students in celebrating our county's 225th anniversary. They will name an official county animal, flower, and maybe even a couple other things, right, Kevin? Right. Our county workforce development services are innovating. We are creating a mobile American Job Center that travels into rural communities to serve residents by recruiting for youth programs, holding job fairs, and offering training information. We will pilot a summer teaching internship, an offshoot of our highly successful College Corps program, which is celebrating its 25th year. This pilot program will recruit future teachers to work in partnership with community-based agencies to offer academic enrichment for inner-city youth. We're adding speed tracking signs to roadways, moving work orders to cloud-based applications, upgrading our pavement condition and road scoring technology, and expanding our culvert, bridge, and road rehab projects. Want to know when your road will be plowed? We will install GPS tracking equipment in our snowplows to show the public when and where roads are being cleared. And you guys will be the first, I'm sure, to check that one out. We are creating a flood mitigation mapping analysis showing the effect mitigation efforts have had to prevent property losses in dollars, acreage, length of roads, and vital infrastructure. These are just a few of the items we will pursue in a continued commitment to excellence in government services. We must continue to be bold. Vision combined with action makes progress, and we see it. In past speeches, I have said there is a bright future ahead. Well, it isn't ahead anymore. It's here. The accomplishments are real. The progress is real. The positivity is real. This doesn't mean we don't face challenges. We do. Every community does. And these challenges are often made more difficult by Albany. Bad ideas, worse execution, with zero input from local governments and agencies that actually do the work every day. There's no better example than public safety. As we fight an opiate epidemic, combat homelessness, face a mental health crisis, and protect our schools and neighborhoods, we're dealing with a bail reform law that simply doesn't work. I'm not the only one saying it. Ask any DA, any sheriff, or police chief. Ask anyone in probation or parole. It does not work. As I have said many times, this law needs to be changed immediately. It makes our streets less safe and is an unworkable burden for the entire criminal justice system. I know it doesn't qualify as shocking to find out that Albany has created an impracticable law, but here we are. Our local legislative delegation stands with us on this. I refuse to sit back and wait, however. During the aftermath of the horrific Parkland shooting, I acted. Together with the sheriff, we placed armed special patrol officers in our schools. Once again, I intend to act. Gun violence is a major issue that cannot go unaddressed. I'm announcing today actions I believe will help our community, make our community safer as we continue to work with our state representatives to get this law changed. First, we will be installing security cameras at all county-owned or affiliated facilities and high crime, high density main streets throughout our communities, as we have done right here in the Oneida Square area. We know that crime in these areas is hurting our small businesses and keeping some residents and tourists from patronizing these establishments. We have a message for repeat offenders out there who have been breaking the law. When a crime is committed in these locations, we will see you, we will catch you, and we will prosecute you to the fullest extent of the law. Second, we will create an inner-city outreach program. Too many of our young adults are not connecting with opportunities that are all around them. Workforce Development has multiple workforce training and educational programs for 18 to 24-year-olds, but enrollment is our greatest challenge. We will work with the community to connect more young adults with those opportunities. This country also continues to face a mental health crisis. This was reflected in our recent Teen Assessment Project Survey, or TAP, which shed light on some of the consequences that the effect of the COVID-19 pandemic had on our junior and senior high school students. 37% felt so sad they stopped doing their usual activities. 25% felt they had no one to talk to. 22% engaged in self-harm. And 13% considered attempting suicide. School staff are engaged with students trying to address these serious issues, but they need more assistance. 7 years ago, as I had mentioned, before it was even the norm to do so, we partnered with our first district to put armed special patrol officers in school. Today, there are special patrol officers in every district. Now, we'll do the same. We'll work with our districts to recruit, hire, and place more mental health professionals in our schools. Our current mental health professionals, social workers, and counselors are doing a great job, but they are simply overburdened. We will also work together to determine what other actions we can take to improve mental health services for students in the short and long term. We're going to do everything we can to address the mental health and wellness needs of all students, giving them a better chance to learn, succeed, and grow. The TAP survey also showed that over half our students experienced changes in their eating and sleeping habits during the pandemic. Consistent, nutritious meals for students is essential. A well-nourished student is much more likely to develop the knowledge, skills, and attitudes to function as a lifelong learner and become a responsible citizen. Recently, Watson Williams Elementary School principal and president of Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority, Dr. Cheryl Beckett Miner, requested funding from Oneida County for the Childhood Hunger Initiative Power Pack program. The CHIP program supplies meals and snacks free of charge over weekends and during breaks for students enrolled at Watson Williams Elementary. I'm very eager to support this program, but I believe as a county we need to do more. We want to work with Dr. Miner, who is here today. Cheryl, Dr. Miner, would you please stand, and thank you for your leadership. We will work with Dr. Miner, other agencies, and school districts to expand this program across the county. No child should go hungry. No child should feel they have no one to talk to. And certainly, no child should feel they have to harm themselves or consider making that fatal decision. Strengthening support systems for these children will create better opportunities in their lives and in this community long term. When that opportunity is not there, the outcomes are disastrous. Every child deserves a real chance to reach their potential. We are committed to strengthening our healthcare system, not only by focusing on our mental health and wellness, but through the state-of-the-art healthcare facilities. MVHS's new campus will soon be open, and construction on our piece, the parking garage, continues. Darlene Stromstad joins us here today. Thank you, Darlene, for your leadership. We have also invested $3 million in Rome Health to expand and improve services, and we are committed to relocating our health clinic to the Oneida County office building in Utica. A new clinic is an important piece of our healthcare system, as it is availed by those who need it the most. We will continue to fight homelessness. And Father Joe mentioned that in his remarks today as an issue that we need and we all are concerned about. We know this problem is multifaceted and encompasses poverty, mental health, substance use disorder, and other contributing factors. We have seen some success. We have procedures in place for when the weather gets cold. We have process and programs to get people the care they need. Our Department of Family and Community Services, led by Colleen Box, works to help people dealing with housing insecurity every day. Tonight, when the sun goes down, we will have assisted in placing between 75 and 175 people in temporary housing. Tomorrow, we'll do the same, and every day after. We have been innovative with our partners to create a low-barrier drop-in center at the Rescue Mission of Utica, as well as working with ICANN to handle outreach and case management. We need all of our partners to address this issue. There are charitable and faith-based organizations in this community doing great work. The Red Cross, the Salvation Army, the Community Foundation, I see, and Alicia Dix is here with us, Cornerstone Church, the United Way, and others. We need their engagement, energy, and effort. We have made progress, but we need to keep addressing this issue. Last September, we launched the Oneida County Homes Initiative that works with the homeless or those in danger of becoming homeless. We will expand the program in 2023 to specialize in identifying available accommodations, acting as a liaison between landlords and DFCS while pursuing opportunities to improve the availability of safe, low-income housing. I tell you, this is not just a Utica problem. It is a societal problem that spans municipal boundaries, and as you know, we have many. We will look to bring more essential homeless services to the Rome area by developing a certified shelter and warming center there. We have to be creative in how, where, and what type of new transitional housing we establish. There are successful models. The Veterans Community Project is one example. The Tiny House Project is another. We will put a team together to develop a solution unique to our own challenges with the overall goal of putting more roofs over the heads of those most in need. We'll also look at housing holistically. I'll tell you right now, the governor's housing proposal is not innovative or creative. In fact, it is an Albany power grab and will do nothing to stop housing insecurity and should be rejected by the legislature. We will begin a housing market inventory, assessment, and strategic plan. We will look at housing supply and demand and the gaps in the housing market. We will also look to see if our housing spatial patterns match up with those of our region's people and jobs. We can't talk about housing or otherwise without talking about agriculture. Albany's top-down approach to housing is bad enough, but its top-down approach to solar energy development may be even worse. I am opposed to the newly created Office of Renewable Energy Siting, which has paved the way to turn thousands of prime farmland into solar panels while giving local governments zero say. Now, I'm in no way against renewable energy. Just last year, we released our own electric vehicle charging station plan. We have our own solar projects. We have passed benchmarking laws and have made our buildings more energy efficient. What I am against is this idea that Albany knows better than Camden or Deerfield or Marshall when it comes to how we want to develop our community. They do it with no regard to our land, our region, our future, and it has to stop. Agriculture remains Oneida County's largest industry. The development pressure associated with solar energy is an issue we take seriously and must address comprehensively. The Board of Legislators, under the direction of Chairman Fiorini, has been meeting regularly on this topic in a special committee, and I look forward to hearing their recommendations. Having said that, there are steps I would like to see our board take. First, pass a local law requiring companies to have decommissioning and soil remediation plans for every project. And second, pass a local law that includes a pilot program directing these projects to places where they make sense, away from prime soil and towards brownfield and former landfill sites and other areas in that same vein. These are two common sense steps that allow solar energy to be created while still protecting our land and our communities. We must never forget that once our natural resources are despoiled, it's impossible to get them back. We'll continue to strengthen our ag industry. This year, we have made a $50,000 commitment to transform the 2018 Dairy Sustainability Action Plan to encompass all of agriculture with the help of Cornell Cooperative Extension and Mary Beth McEwen, the Executive Director. Thank you for joining us, Mary Beth. I know the hardships faced by our county dairy farmers. I hear them, and we have worked with them. They have constraints forced upon them unlike any other industry. They don't set the price of their milk. They have very little room to negotiate and are left out of a market-based system while taking on many of the costs and risks associated with the selling of milk. We will commission a feasibility study for additional dairy processing plants here in Oneida County. Our farmers need to know if additional processing is possible. We'll look at the capacity, possible locations, and the financial commitments necessary to determine if this can become a reality. I also propose we try something that isn't being done anywhere else in the country. First, I've instructed the planning department to work with CCE, Cornell, our co-ops, the Farm Bureau, and other partners to safeguard dairy farmers' bottom lines in a worst-case scenario by creating an emergency fund. When milk is dumped, it is the farmer that takes the brunt of that loss. While they may be able to absorb that financial hit most of the time, there is inevitably a breaking point, and a few $1,000s in the hands of our dairy farmers when they need it most can have a real impact. Second, it's our farmers in the back of the room that are hiding back there. Second, we will work with our partners and establish a farm training program that matches the differently abled community with agriculture work. We have some of the best not-for-profits, many over in this room tonight, in the nation right here. And together, we can create something unique that helps farmers and those with special needs. While agriculture is critical to our economy, it is not our only industry. Our economy is diversifying and strengthening. At Griffiths International Airport, we continue to see the vision that we have outlined there. Griffiths is primed for more expansion, more investments, and more jobs. We see it in and around the campus with new loft apartments, new housing, and new business in what amounts to a new neighborhood in Rome, with enormous growth potential. That is why we will continue to work on the development of what is known as the Griffiths Triangle site. This will be one of the most coveted mega sites in all of New York State. When it comes to Bag Square and the U District, the proof is there. We see the development of new housing and new parking. The Utica University Nexus Center, the President is with us today, President Laura Casamento. Thank you, Laura. Please give her a round of applause for that. The sign is up, and it is packed every night, every night. The REA wing expansion is headed into the next phase, creating another anchor project. The success of Nexus is evident to everyone. Last week, I got a call from a very good friend, Tim Tallman, owner of Tallman's Tires. Tim had called me to relay just a casual conversation he had had with someone he met in a coffee shop. They were recent visitors from California. They told him they had come to Utica in Oneida County for a hockey tournament. They had said they had traveled because of their young people, their children, across the country for youth hockey, and that we had the best facility they had ever seen. This was the intention when we built Nexus. We wanted to create a facility that people would come to from around the country to see what else we had to offer in Oneida County. From Nexus, you could see the state-of-the-art hospital. You can walk to our unrivaled restaurants. You can grab a cup of the best coffee in the U.S., right, Frank? You can bike our trails, and you can do all of this while your child considers our renowned educational institutions. I mentioned Laura. Randy Van Wagener is here. Dr. Andy Russell, where are you? You're somewhere from SUNY. Our unrivaled and renowned educational institutions. We wanted the world to see exactly why business people like Tim and so many others live and prosper here. We must build on that success. We'll be working with our partners to launch a visitor survey to collect actionable data from people who are visiting Nexus. We want to hear from them. Not necessarily what is or isn't inside the building, because we know that gets the highest mark. We want to hear from them on what should be happening outside the building. What did they enjoy? What did they dislike? Where can we be better? What would help connect Nexus to the rest of the district, city, and county? This can only assist the county, developer, and entrepreneurs as they look to invest and capitalize on this crucial asset. We need to find a way to further incentivize private development in and around the U District. We'll take 2 steps. We will hold a development challenge to allow potential developers to pitch their ideas. Oneida County's own Shark Tank. And we will commit funding to turn those ideas into reality. We will also work to create our own opportunity zone in the Bag Square Improvement District. The opportunity zone, in line with our land use plan, will include property tax reductions and incentive packages that will supercharge investments of all kinds, creating more businesses, more jobs, and more people visiting this premier destination. We are in a position like never before. Growth is here, it's real. We have invested strategically, conservatively, and with impact, and we will continue to do so. We already have nearly 2,000 people alone working in the semiconductor and electronics manufacturing industries right here in Oneida County. We need to capitalize on the emerging need for more supply chain companies. I'm proposing a first-in-the-nation 3-step plan to do just that. First, we'll devise a package of work training incentives above and beyond the states, which any company that chooses Oneida County can step right into and avail themselves of. Second, we will act aggressively for any company that comes to Oneida County to help access the next round of federal funding in the CHIPS Act. This government will be an expert in that funding and how to get it, and I saw my good friend John Salka, who's here representing Congressman Brandon Williams. John, thank you for being here today. We'll be calling you. Third, working with another great partner and my dear friend, President Randy Van Wagener, we will create a 1-year tuition stipend at MVCC in studies related to the semiconductor industry. Don't panic. The goals are simple. You bring your semiconductor supply chain company here, and you have a partner in Oneida County. We will help you obtain federal funding, train your workers, and educate new ones. Remember, our people will always be the key to our success. Pope Francis has said, a population that does not take care of the elderly and of children and the youth has no future because it abuses both its memory and its promise. He's right, Father. And while most of the time our parents and our children are well cared for, county government is here to protect them when they need us most. You know, sociologists have a phrase that they use to describe social or cultural problems that are difficult or impossible to solve. They call them wicked problems. This government and our employees fight those wicked problems every single day. Poverty, homelessness, natural disasters, substance use disorder, to name a few. Let me tell you about one of these problems that you don't hear about every day in the local news, but it happens every day. A child is abused, neglected, or even dies while living in the most abject poverty imaginable. Or because the parents are in the throes of substance use disorder, or just because of the evil that exists. That call comes to me, this government, our workers. You want to talk about shocking things that have been said in the speech? Here's one. I'm going to ask you all to stand up for a moment, please. Please stand. There are a couple hundred people in this room at least. Everyone look around. You represent the number of child protective reports this government gets every month. That's right. Last month we had 410. They're not just numbers. These are children who could not be going to school for weeks at a time. They could be ignored in their homes. They could not be eating. They could be getting physically, mentally, or sexually abused. They could be infants failing to thrive. When parents neglect children, it is only this government that is left to pick up the pieces. Thank you. You may sit down. Our caseworkers walk into those homes, and no one could possibly understand what that looks like unless you have done it. We rescue a child from that home. We find them a place to stay for the night. We then go to court the next morning to make sure they are legally placed somewhere safe and secure, and we do that over and over and over again. Child protection is extremely complex. We continue to combat these issues every day. We'll continue to strengthen and look to strengthen the system in every way we can. And why do I tell you this in this speech? Because that's what we do every day in this government. It's more than operating budgets and debt reduction. It's more than what's routinely discussed by all governments and media. It can literally mean life or death, and that is what we do, and what we do greatly matters. Now, 225 years ago, this county was formed, And leading a county is not easy. While history records its evolution, I cannot imagine or presume what vision those before us had or what they believed Oneida County would be over time. I can, however, go back to what this county looked like when I first took the oath of office, and the vision that I saw for the future that is today. No one can deny that the view is vastly different, that the attitude is vastly different, that the impression of Oneida County from people who visit here is vastly different. And many are seeing it for the very first time. Nexus was not only built for hockey and soccer and lacrosse, it was built to bring people here. Families from Minnesota, Pennsylvania, Virginia, Indiana, North Carolina, Utah, Wisconsin, Nevada, Michigan, New Hampshire, Florida, Massachusetts, and New Jersey have been here just over the last 2 months. The hospital will keep people here by bringing us more doctors and more healthcare professionals. Wolfspeed was built to bring people here and keep our young people here. Turning Stone is being expanded to bring more people here. We did this by working with those who wanted a better community and wanted to cast aside the "it can't be done here" attitude. We did it by making hard decisions and by investing, not wasting tax dollars. We did it by not raising property taxes for 10 years. We did it together by making this county government relevant with a business community that deserves more than just a handshake at a ribbon cutting. From us, it gets a true partner in growth. All governments use the phrase, our goal, all governments say, and all communities say, our goal is to keep and attract young people to our community. My friends, we are doing it. Look around the county. It's different, but we need to continue. In every address, I've asked you to join me in this work, and you have. And that is the difference today. The state of Oneida County is strong. Strong because stronger perhaps than any other time in its history. Strong because we built a foundation of fiscal stability that has allowed real investment. Strong because we take care of all of our people. Strong because when we are challenged, we respond, and when we are told it can't be done, we don't buy it for a minute. Serving as your county executive has been the honor of a lifetime. The honor comes from all who have put their faith in me to run this government. But the credit does not rest in this seat alone. It rests with all who have worked tirelessly to make this county, this community better. True partners who work together, the governments, businesses, schools, our colleges, our agencies, clergy, and many more. We are no longer the community that asks, what if? Instead, we ask, what's next? I truly do love this county and its progress, and I believe in our future, our memories, and our promise. My promise is that I will not stop nor hit pause, but move forever forward. Thank you for being here today. God bless you, Oneida County, and the United States of America. Thank you very much. Please enjoy yourself. Thank you.